On a bustling Saturday afternoon in September 2014, chaos erupted at Harmon's Irish Bar, nestled in the upscale resort of Elveria, near Marbella. Two gunmen stormed the bar, zeroing in on a 44-year-old man lounging on the terrace in green swim shorts, casually chatting with a woman. Without warning, they struck, firing 3 shots into his arm and 3 more into his back as he desperately tried to retreat into the bar for safety. Collapsing in the doorway, he was executed with 2 final shots to the head. A stray bullet pierced a nearby parked car. Witnesses had later described the assassins as eerily precise, like ninjas, one of whom was cloaked entirely in black. The pair made a swift escape in a BMW, its engine left idling near the bar, only for the vehicle to be found burnt out shortly after, near a supermarket 3 miles down the road to Marbella. It quickly became evident that the man executed in broad daylight was none other than Gerard Hatchet Kavanagh, an Irish boxer who traded the ring for the perilous world of drug dealing. Kavanagh, once a major supplier in Tala, had relocated to Ben al-Medina, where he'd lived for nearly a decade before meeting his brutal end. His fate was sealed by his deep ties to the infamous Kingpin Cartel, a connection that ultimately led to his downfall. Just 2 years after Kavanagh's assassination, his son Jamie, also a boxer, would narrowly escape death during the notorious Regency Hotel attack. What was supposed to be a routine weigh-in for an upcoming fight turned into a scene of carnage as gunmen stormed the venue, killing gangster David Byrne. Gerard Kavanagh had carved out a fearsome reputation in Irish criminal circles as an enforcer, someone who could be relied upon to extract drug debts with ruthless efficiency. His role as muscle for the Kingpin gang extended across both Spain and Ireland, with Garda sources confirming his involvement in numerous acts of intimidation. As a key money collector for the Spain-based Irish drug lord Christy Kinahan, Kavanagh was once dispatched to Dublin to retrieve a £1 million debt from lower-level dealers. But when he failed to deliver, the penalty was swift and unforgiving. He was gunned down, paying the ultimate price for falling short in the deadly business he had chosen. Hatchet Kavanagh once ran a lucrative criminal enterprise alongside his cousin, James Mulvey, originally from Solihull, a market town in the West Midlands of England. Their partnership was thrust into the spotlight in early 2008 when French police stopped them, ostensibly en route to Holland, each carrying substantial amounts of cash. This incident marked the early days of Mulvey's rapid rise in the criminal underworld, where he soon emerged as one of Britain's most prolific drug dealers. Kavanagh and Mulvey, along with 2 other associates, operated a Birmingham-based haulage firm, a front for laundering the massive profits generated from their global cocaine and cannabis operations. Mulvey, the Solihull mobster, lived a life of luxury and intrigue, orchestrating his drug empire from 5-star hotels around the world and his lavish hideaway in Spain. With deep ties to Birmingham, he managed numerous front businesses for a network of Irish gangsters. As he revelled in his extravagant lifestyle, Mulvey funneled millions through offshore havens like the Isle of Man, Monaco, and Mauritius. At one point, investigators uncovered nearly €10 million of mysterious funds credited to a single company in the Isle of Man. Mulvey's ill-gotten gains funded the construction of a €1.5 million Spanish villa, complete with indoor and outdoor pools, a private cinema, and a lift connecting its floors. He also owned multiple properties in the UK, adorned himself with high-end watches, cruised in luxury cars, and sustained a self-confessed over €1,000 a week cocaine habit. Back in England, his children attended elite private schools in Worcestershire and Somerset, their education funded by the proceeds of his criminal empire. Beyond his flashy investments in bars and nightclubs, like the now-closed Geisha Bar in Birmingham's Mailbox, James Mulvey orchestrated a vast criminal empire, using a tangled web of companies, including his Birmingham-based haulage firm JBS Transport, as a front for his international cocaine and cannabis empire. And mind you, Mulvey wasn't just a player, he was the linchpin connecting several powerful crime bosses. His shadowy operations extended across borders, including links to LS Active car sales in Bluebell, Dublin. The Irish High Court deemed the dealership a money laundering front for the notorious Byrne organised crime group. This company, which housed a fleet of luxury vehicles, served as a slush fund, enabling the mob to enjoy lavish lifestyles, attending high-profile boxing matches, and residing in 5-star hotels. Another key piece in Mulvey's criminal puzzle was the Mule State Foundation Trust. This front eventually helped Irish investigators tie Mulvey to Liam Byrne, a Kinahan associate and career criminal. By this time, Mulvey was deeply enmeshed in a vast drug wholesaling operation led by the Irish crime family, which maintained close connections to Birmingham. Mulvey was a pivotal figure in the Kinahan cartel's operations, who back then were embroiled in a gangland feud marked by tit-for-tat killings in Dublin and Marbella. One of his close associates within the cartel's upper echelons was Sean McGovern, who at one point even received a €155 cash payment from Mulvey. A 2008 investigation unveiled how the cocaine kingpin funded the purchase of McGovern's home in Kildare Road, South Dublin. Mulvey funneled €155,000 from Mauritius to secure the property, using the Mule State Foundation Trust. Mulvey claimed the payment to McGovern was provided for the purpose of real estate in Ireland. However, the NCA eventually unravelled Mulvey's intricate web of transactions, tracing the movement of funds from the Isle of Man to Monaco and then to Mauritius. Mulvey claimed the account was for the education and well-being of his family, but documents obtained by the UK's National Crime Agency told a different story. When NCA agents raided firms linked to Mulvey's offshore accounts, they discovered that Mulvey had left a note in his file in which he had written off McGovern's €155,000 loan, bizarrely citing McGovern's recent demise in a note. Why Mulvey referred to McGovern's demise remains a mystery. In his dealings with the cartel, Mulvey's cash was sent to McGovern to pay for the property before an extra €250,000 was spent on renovating the home, adding extra rooms and a gym without planning permission. But this gift would soon turn into a curse, as the property was seized by the Criminal Assets Bureau under Operation Lamp. Investigators from the NCA, working closely with CAB, believed that Mulvey's personal trust fund was a smokescreen to conceal profits from his global drug empire. As the Irish CAB zeroed in on Birmingham to dismantle the Kinahan cartel, tracing properties and luxury cars, it became clear that Mulvey was no stranger to UK authorities. West Midlands Police and the NCA had long known about Mulvey's role in providing the Kinahans with a crucial drug smuggling route into the UK, operating a sophisticated carousel between Europe, the West Midlands, and Ireland. Mulvey's deep ties to Ireland's most dangerous gang came to light only after British officers launched their own raids in London. This was prompted by the refusal of the company managing his funds in Mauritius to cooperate with Mauritian authorities. The fact that Mulvey erased a substantial debt owed to him by a top Kinahan cartel member underscores just how intertwined their operations were. He was willing to pay off McGovern's house debt because their partnership ran deep, rooted in years of collaboration on a global criminal stage. Mutual trust was built on a shared empire of illicit dealings. But everything changed after the brutal execution of his cousin, Gerard Hatchet Kavanagh. Mulvey, once a fearless kingpin, became a man haunted by the spectre of the Kinahans. The paranoia was evident in a series of secretly recorded phone calls.
He's no threat to me and I'm no threat to him. So that's what them texts are for. Do you understand? That's why he's texting me to see what my response is. As I says, well, I'm agreeing with him. If he thinks it's a problem.
Speaking to his girlfriend, he confessed, "Do you understand how these people work? If they can't get to me, they get to the people you love. They kill the people you love." In another call discussing Kinahan's right-hand man, Thomas Bomber Kavanagh, who was on the run, Mulvey's voice trembled as he said, "They are that powerful. You got Daniel, fucking the Wig, Graham Whelan, Georgie, and him, Kavanagh. They're the most powerful group. The Irish are the most powerful and also the fucking maddest." He was asked if the cartel was madder than him. He fell silent, unable, or perhaps unwilling to answer. During the next chillingly recorded call, Mulvey's paranoia escalated when he revealed that notorious crime boss Daniel Kinahan suspected him of being a rat. His suspicion gnawed at Mulvey, feeding his growing paranoia. Mulvey also mentioned David Blinky Duffy, a hardened foot soldier for Bomber Kavanagh, who's now serving a 5-year sentence for his role in the botched assassination attempt on Hutch associate James Gately in April 2017. Investigators believe Mulvey was alluding to cartel heavyweight Liam Byrne when he recounted a tense conversation. Fair play to Liam. Liam went and spoke to Daniel because Daniel pulled Liam. The ominous tone suggested just how deeply entrenched their criminal bonds were. In another call, Mulvey described a narrow escape involving Liam Byrne and Bomber Kavanagh in 2014. "I sat with Liam," he said, "and Liam told me how they were together when someone tried to take him out. They'd just had bulletproof glass installed days before. No one knew. They were inside the house when the gun jammed." As if Mulvey's own fears weren't enough, the National Crime Agency, NCA, had tapped his phones in 2014, capturing these dark confessions. At the same time, his opulent €1.5 million villa in Spain was being used by none other than Christy Kinahan's eldest son, Daniel. Daniel Kinahan was secretly recorded visiting the property, and investigators believe he was staying there while his relationship with Gary Hutch began to unravel over the cartel's failure to launder Hutch's cash from a tiger kidnapping. The tension between these dangerous figures only added to the storm brewing around Mulvey, who was caught in the deadly crossfire of the Kinahan empire. Mulvey's ties to the Kinahan cartel ran deep, particularly with his cousin Thomas Bomber Kavanagh, who Spanish authorities once described as holding equal status to Daniel Kinahan within the syndicate. The National Crime Agency noted, Mulvey was a trusted associate of Thomas Kavanagh. Those operating at the highest levels of criminality would only enter into agreements with those they trusted, even though it's widely believed that Bomber arranged for their cousin Hatchet to be shot dead after Daniel Kinahan convinced him that he was plotting to kidnap one of his children and hold him for ransom. The reasons for Hatchet's murder stay murky as the whole tale does not make any sense. Why kill over a supposedly missing €1 million when such an amount could easily be missed? And kidnap is about the highest risk crime there is. Yet Bomber believed Daniel's word, and Hatchet was gunned down in cold blood. Operating within the shadowy world of organised crime, Mulvey went to extraordinary lengths to evade law enforcement. He lived like a ghost, leaving no conventional traces in the UK. For 7 years he bounced from one luxury hotel to another, always paying in cash, often funneled through third parties. He never stayed in one place for long, and relied on burner phones, which he switched daily to stay off the grid. Despite spending up to €85,000 a week and flaunting his wealth across the globe, he never used bank accounts and remained a phantom to the authorities. As the police tightened their grip on a sophisticated smuggling ring he was deeply embedded in, Mulvey fled to Spain, hoping to outrun the law that was fast closing in. But then, in 2017, Mulvey's aura of invincibility was shattered. After a 2-year covert investigation by the National Crime Agency, NCA, Mulvey was dramatically arrested at gunpoint by Lithuanian special forces. His capture, under a European arrest warrant, marked the culmination of a decade-long criminal inquiry into a smuggling ring dating back to 2007. While his associates had already been prosecuted and jailed, Mulvey had managed to slip through the cracks, until now. Mulvey and his crew had been orchestrating a large-scale drug operation, smuggling contraband from Belgium into England, and then onto Ireland. The drugs were ingeniously concealed inside hollow industrial metal rollers, transported by lorries across Europe. The consignments, packed with cocaine and cannabis, were funneled through a network of haulage companies and individuals, making their way from Holland to Ireland via Belgium and the West Midlands. One of the key transit points for this illicit cargo was a haulage yard in the quiet village of Inkborough, Worcestershire, an area best known as the inspiration for BBC Radio 4's fictional setting of Ambridge in The Archers. Little did anyone suspect that this sleepy village was a crucial node in Mulvey's international drug empire. The scheme unravelled thanks to a sharp-eyed Belgian warehouse worker who noticed that the same metal rollers kept returning to the depot. Sensing something was off, he tipped off the police. Belgian investigators then partnered with UK law enforcement to carry out a controlled delivery of one of the suspicious shipments to Nares in Dublin via Worcestershire in February 2007. When they opened the industrial rollers, they uncovered a staggering haul: 20 blocks of cocaine, 364 blocks of cannabis, and 10 blocks of phenacetin, a cutting agent for cocaine. Shockingly, around 14 other shipments had already slipped through undetected. The bust led to several arrests, including lorry driver Jeffrey Edwards and transport manager Barry Phipps. Both men were hit hard by the law. Phipps received 25 years, and Edwards 20 years for conspiring to supply drugs following their trial at Birmingham Crown Court in 2009. But Mulvey, the mastermind behind the operation, managed to evade capture. Sensing the walls closing in, he fled to Spain just days before Edwards and Phipps were arrested in August 2007. At the time, there wasn't enough evidence to charge him, but the investigation didn't stop. Mulvey might have believed that by staying out of sight, he'd be out of mind, that after 5 years, the NCA would eventually forget about him. But the NCA has a long memory and an even longer reach. In 2012, Mulvey returned to the UK when his father fell ill. This gave British officers the opportunity to put him under closer scrutiny. 3 years later, in 2015, West Midlands Police handed the case over to the NCA's Birmingham team. They launched a sophisticated surveillance operation, employing covert tactics, intricate mobile phone analysis, and sifting through over 20 million documents across 9 countries. Despite Mulvey's best efforts to remain a ghost, operating without bank accounts and leaving little paper trail, the NCA's forensic accountants tracked his movements, inching ever closer. The net was closing in, and this time there'd be no escape. the investigation peeled back the layers of Mulvey's criminal empire, revealing how he used his legitimate hauling firm as a front to transport cocaine and cannabis, concealed within those metal rollers stored in the quiet village of Inkborough. During a crucial interception, Mulvey even admitted his role in the conspiracy. Mulvey's operation was sophisticated. He employed accountants, advisors, and offshore trusts to launder millions. One particularly brazen transaction involved €13.1 million funneled to a single business. Investigators painstakingly traced these illicit funds through thousands of documents, uncovering a web of companies in the Isle of Man used to hide his profits. The investigation even reached as far as Mauritius, where local police teamed up with the UK's Financial Intelligence Unit to raid properties in the village of Tamarin, seizing documents and digital devices. Mulvey orchestrated numerous shipments to the continent, cleverly arranging cover loads of tinfoil or toilet paper destined for Ireland to maintain the illusion of legitimate business. In total, he successfully smuggled drugs on 14 occasions before his luck ran out during the 15th trip, when Belgian authorities intercepted the contraband. These 15 trips moved drugs with an estimated street value of €80 million. His downfall came on March 28, 2017, when Lithuanian special forces stormed his hideout in Kavanagh. The arrest was as dramatic as his life. Mulvey, half naked, was captured in photos, sitting on a sofa with guns pointed at him. And in another image, he was sprawled on the floor under the watchful eye of armed officers. The arrest was the culmination of an investigation involving 150 investigators from Spain, Portugal, Brazil, Ireland, and Lithuania. After a 10-week trial in June 2018, Mulvey was found guilty of masterminding the import of €80 million worth of cocaine and cannabis into Britain between 2006 and 2007. He was sentenced to 32 years in Birmingham Crown Court. Yet, whispers circulated that it was actually bomber Kavanagh pulling the strings behind the massive drug plot, slipping through the net while Mulvey took the fall. Following his sentencing, the NCA made it clear that their work was far from over. They continued to dig into Mulvey's finances under the Proceeds of Crime Act, determined to ensure he wouldn't benefit from his criminal past. The hunt for €7.5 million in missing drug money remains ongoing, with law enforcement hot on the trail. That was it for today's video. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see our next videos.